you that this is a combination of me and me sharing from what I've experienced pre-COVID, and then some ideas from Emily Schutte. If you've ever heard of her as a director, she's a top director. She's amazing. And so some of this stuff are ideas and thoughts from her since COVID, like over the last couple of years, because we've seen a shift in customers and how we build customers. So we're going to be doing a 4-week part series. So 4-part weeks. How do you say that? 4-week series. My gosh, you too can be a director. Thank you, Rhonda. You too can be a director. Okay. So we're going to be doing this into June. So almost to the last week of June. We will not be meeting next week because it's Memorial Day. So when you get your challenge, just know it's going to take you past Memorial Day. So this is really near and dear to me because several years ago, this is pre-COVID, I had a really big goal about March, April of the year. And I had this really big goal for what I wanted to do by the end of June. And when I looked at what I wanted to do versus my customer base, I knew my customer base was the answer. And I knew I needed to build my customer base. So this is for you. We're calling this, do you want to build a big customer base, a bigger customer base, or the biggest customer base? So if you want to go big, bigger, or biggest, we've got you. Because some of you have already got some customers and some of you are brand new and you're like, I don't have hardly anybody yet. So this is going to fit for just about everybody. So if you're brand new or very seasoned and you're on the Zoom, or you had to get off because you lost power and you're watching the record, just know that you've already told me that you value your business because you're checking in on your Zoom. And you've already told me that you want to build it because you're already here or you're watching this in a recording. So there's an old saying in Mary Kay, some of you can probably say it probably finish this for me. Nothing happens until
somebody sells something.
Yes, yay! Okay, so let's talk about that because it's so true. I remember that year I set that goal, and I got to tell you all, my goal was not done by the end of June. I really didn't even come close, but so many other things happened, and then I kept working that whole next year. I built momentum, and I wasn't about to let that momentum go. That next year was my best year I had ever had in Mary Kay, and that was in 20 plus 25 years of being in Mary Kay. And it was all because of what I started the last quarter of the Mary Kay year and didn't stop. So you all are going to get a huge jump to finishing by June 30th and a huge jump to your year next year because you're going to build momentum. Okay. So everything in our business, and I do mean everything in our business, comes from building customers. Wouldn't you agree? That's, in my opinion, that's what sets us apart in Mary Kay from other direct sales and from other companies. If anybody ever wants to compare us and says, what makes you different? We build long lasting, loyal customers. I mean, just listen to what David said. Just hang out with Linda sometime. These are consultants that are going to tell you, yes, you build loyal customers in this business. And that's what sets us apart. So I want you to kind of think about goals. Let's dream a little bit. So what are your goals by June 30th? Maybe you have some goals that you want to finish by September 1st. So finish out that first quarter of the Mary Kay year. You got July, August, and September. So you've got a new goal. So just kind of think about it for a second. And what could you do with a bigger or biggest customer base based on your goals? What would you like to do? Would you want to be a star consultant every quarter and maybe do that just on reorders, not new sales? Wouldn't that be fabulous to have your reorders be enough every single month that you are there's Rhonda. That's her. So see, there's Rhonda saying, look, that's how I built it. And I built it strong. So maybe that's your goal. Maybe you're like, I'm not there yet, but wow, did it give me chills to think about it? Maybe that'd be awesome. What if you're somebody that's like, hey, I'm fairly new and I just want to be doing enough to get that power up prize every month. Those that have already received your little confetti makeup bag thing that was this month, wasn't it adorable? I love getting those gifts in my order that I sold to earn. And I'm like, look, it's a prize for doing my job. We get prizes for doing our jobs. So maybe you would want to do that solely on reorders. First, build to doing it regularly and then make it your reorders. What if you want to build a team? Guess where your team's going to come from? From customer base. So you want to build your customers. Maybe you want to be profitable enough to make this your full-time gig. You're like, I want to replace another job, or I'm ready to retire from that job in that industry and I want this to be it, or I just graduated and I don't want to work in a regular job. I want to be Mary Kay full time. Whatever it is, it's all going to come from customers. You guys are getting it, right? You're with me, right? Okay. So seriously, like what David said tonight in being our king of sales, and last week it was Linda being queen of sales, and you saw their numbers and they're consistently in the top like that. And it comes from their customer service and their customer base that they've built big, and you're going to build big. If you don't have any, you're going to build big. If you already have a good one, you're going to build bigger. And if you already have a bigger one, you're going to build biggest, right? So big, big, bigger. Okay. So I do have a question for you. You don't need to answer this to me, but I want you to answer it for yourself. How many customers do you have right now? And I don't mean somebody that ordered last year once and got a mascara. I mean, do you know how many customers you have, repeat customers? You may or may not know, and it's okay if you don't know. If you this is going to be one of your assignments, to go through your customer base and figure out, how many customers do I have, and how many would you like to have? Let's talk about that for a second. Would you like to add another 15 good customers? And we're going to talk about what that means, a customer. Maybe you'd like to build 15 more customers in the next 45 days. Maybe you'd like to build 60 more, 75 more, maybe 100 more. I don't know. But how many would you like to have? So I would love for you to ask that to yourself. Feel free to share it to your customers. If anybody feels brave enough and would like to put it in the chat, I would love to see some chat going on. I'm going to open up my chat window. So if anybody feels brave enough and wants to put it over, and you may not know, you may be like, girl, I don't know yet. And that's okay too, because maybe you're new and you're like, I would just like to have 10 customers, period. So now let's talk about what makes a customer. I know it kind of feels obvious, but it's not really, okay? It's not, because the idea is, well, she bought from me or he bought from me, so they're a customer, right? Well, yeah, but also no, because did they buy from you again? There's the question. Did they buy from you again? Rebecca just checked 116. I bet that's who she's got on preferred customer program. We're going to talk about that in a second. So have they bought from you again? Because or were they just a drive-by? And I mean drive-by by B-U-Y, a drive-by. So they bought a mascara and drove away and never talked to them again. Okay, I would love to have 100 customers. I love it, Edna. Okay, so are they a drive-by or are they a buy again? So are they a repeat customer or are they a drive-by? Now, just so you know, I have a lot of drive-bys in my customer base. When I started working on this, I was like, ooh, girl, you need to fix that. Okay, so what we want to build when we're building big, bigger, or biggest, we want to build loyal customers who are with us for a very long time. I bet that Linda could probably in the chat tell us how many customers she's had for how long. And I bet Rhonda can, and I bet Sheila can. You can think about your top 5 customers. How long have they been with you? 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I have some that have been with me since I moved to Missouri, and it's been 24 years, and they are good customers. So that's what you want. You want that. Now, there's a YouTuber that I follow. Her name is Alex Cantoni, and she's a networker, not like a marketing person, not like in direct sales. And I like to watch her because she kind of has some fun statistics out there, and I like to learn that stuff. She said 88% of people become loyal to a brand after 3 purchases. Three. So you got to get he or she to purchase from you 3 times before they're going to be loyal to you. And you are the brand, by the way. We're going to talk about that. But so they become loyal to their product, they need to purchase from you 3 times. So if you're seasoned and you go through your customer base, look and see when she ordered last, and then look and see when she ordered before that, and look and see when she ordered before that. Okay, that's important information for you to know in order to work on building your loyal repeat customers. So that's kind of the first thing, is in describing a customer, what makes a customer. Did she buy from me? And has she repeated a purchase? Because if you're new, she's probably bought from you once. And if you're new and you're thinking, well, I haven't had time to have them buy 3 times, keep in mind, you're going to want her to buy 3 times. It doesn't mean like 3 times in 3 weeks, but 3 times. And David and Linda, I know, would agree that that's what makes their reorders so fabulous, is that they've built that loyalty. So 2, is she on my PCP list? Because I'm feeling like probably Rebecca looked at her PCP list and went, only my good purchasing, she's nodding, only my good purchasing customers are on my PCP list. Love that. David's nodding. I got some nodding going on. Okay. So is she on my PCP list? This is how we keep them and build loyalty. Did you know that? Did you know when somebody says to me, I have a Mary Kay consultant, and I say, what's her name? And they go, they don't have a Mary Kay consultant. If they go, oh, well, it's Rhonda. And I go, oh, that's great. Does she send you a catalog in the mail? And if they go, then probably Rhonda sells to her once a year. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to steal her from Rhonda because she knew her name, but catalogs in this day and age make a big difference, a big impact, way more than they used to, because they used to get buried in catalogs, but it tells them you are in business and they are worth it to you to be on your loyalty mailing list, and they get a catalog and they will look for it. They will look for it. So that's number 2. Is she on your PCP list? Are you participating in PCP? If you are not, you will be now. And number 3, I had just said that, would she be able to say your name if I asked her? And if the answer is yes, even if it's just your first name, then yes, she is your customer. She is your customer. So here's the thing that's really important that I tend to kind of forget about sometimes. Well, I have forgotten about in the past. I don't feel like that anymore, but we have to earn our customers. This is on us. It's not on them. It's on us to earn them, because there is so much going on. There's so much noise. There's so much distract that we have to really earn them. And it's worth it. Just ask David from last week. It's worth it to earn their loyalty. Okay. So 3 tips to building big, bigger, or biggest. Okay. 3 tips. 1, I want to talk about, if you're new, there's a lingo, we call it see a face. How many faces did you do? It's kind of a fun lingo that we mean that person tried the product and they purchased. So that's how we used to always dub a customer. We would say a face can be a customer, but I want you to think about, a customer doesn't always have to be a face. Okay, so a face can be a customer, but a customer doesn't always have to be a face. Now, what do I mean by that? So in this day and age of this, lots of virtual, sending them samples in the mail, they try it, you do a voice message text, you do a Facebook meeting. I have a customer that lives 5 minutes from me that would rather do a video call with me than meet with me in person. She was 5 minutes away, but to her, it's easier if I video chat her than if I go. She doesn't, I don't know. Isn't that funny how that works? 5 minutes, but that's what works for her. And I know that's what works for her. So just know that a face doesn't mean that you had to get in person with them. And it doesn't even necessarily mean that he or she put on the product. It could mean that they were a referral, they got on your website and they purchased. And now you've done the follow-up, you've made sure things are great, and they're a customer, right? So it's just kind of a new way of thinking things. Back in the day, pre-COVID, everything was face-to-face. We wouldn't have considered even having a Zoom meeting. So I kind of want you to think about, there are so many men and women out there that are looking for you. How many here, by a show of hands, has ever had somebody warm chatter them in anywhere in person? Like say, "Ooh, you're really sharp. Who's your Mary Kay consultant?" Rebecca has. Rebecca's been warm chattered. She's thinking about it. Like somebody that said, "Wow, you're really sharp. Who's your Mary Kay lady?" Has anybody? You're thinking.
They didn't tell me that I was sharp. They just said, "Hey, here's some samples. You need to try this."
Okay, so she got drive-by assaulted by some samples.
It was an assault. In fact, that's why I didn't try Mary Kay for a long time, because it was not a pleasant experience.
We're going to talk about that. Okay, Rebecca, I'm glad you brought that up. That's on my list on how to handle that. But the reason I'm asking you is that I never got asked either. And my boss was my Mary Kay consultant. My boss, who you would think would be totally comfortable with saying, "Girl, you need to fix your makeup," because I did. And I went to her and said, "I need makeup." And she said, "Oh, okay." I mean, so do you see what I mean? There are so many of us that have never been approached. I was at the doctor's last week and the lady complimented me on my glasses. And I said, "Oh my gosh," she was checking me. And I said, "Aren't you so adorable?" And I said, "Hey, is it okay with you? I'll just give you a little sample. It's my free sample day. And she said, yes. And it was the Mary Kay Confident. She said, oh my gosh, I used to be a consultant. I said, who's your consultant now? She said, I don't have one. And I said, well, here's my number. I'd love to hear what you thought of the sample. So you see what I mean? Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be crazy, but there are so many. So I like to call it seeking and gathering. We're going to seek and gather people. Because look at this group just right here that's never been warm chattered, quite possibly, by a complete stranger. So seeking and gathering. There are so many people out there that need us. They really do. And they don't even have to be seeking and gathering in person. You know what I'm getting at? So we don't steal each other's companies, customers. So here's a good example of kind of what just happened a little bit to Rebecca, but this is how you could warm chatter also. And we're not getting into that, but I want you to see how this could work. We don't steal each other's customers, but let's just say you're at church and you're chatting with somebody and they're like, so what do you do? They're new, or you're meeting somebody new and somebody else is standing there like, I'm a nurse at Mercy. And also I'm a Mary Kay consultant. And they go, and this other person goes, what? You're a Mary Kay consultant? Oh my gosh, I need mascara. And you're like, okay. So what happened to Rebecca was what I call, like, it puts you in fight or flight, I think is what you call it, where Rebecca was like totally immediately put off by the whole thing and was like, no. So even though this isn't in this example of how we could gather people, I love this. This is because I'm shy and I don't like that feeling of having somebody feel like now they have to dodge me every time they see me Sunday at church, like, oh my gosh, here comes that Mary Kay lady. That's not what we want. We don't want to be the scary Mary Kay person. We want to be the one that they go, oh, I remember her. Okay. So here's kind of how I try not to jump on that person. I would say something like, first off, let's confirm they don't have a consultant. Okay. Oh, wow, you liked Ultimate Mascara? Do you remember which one? Do you remember? Oh, that's great. Do you have a consultant? And well, no, I lost her a long time. Oh, okay. Well, I love, okay, I'd be happy to do that. So I would suggest in building trust with her, you say something to the effect of, oh, would it be fun if I gave you a catalog and some samples so you could just kind of check it out? I know you want mascara, but would it be fun for you if I gave you that? So do you see how that's like way more trust building? Would it be fun for you? It's not, oh my gosh, I got a new customer and she's got mascara. And oh, by the way, I'm doing faces this month and I need everybody try the lip oil. And sometimes it's that conversation will turn into that. Sometimes they're going to go, I love a catalog. I haven't seen one in 100 years. And you give her a sample of the new perfume because we've got that sampler. And then you're going to get her name and number because you're going to deliver an Ultimate Mascara, but that's a way to follow up. Or you can even say, hey, could you want me to check back with you and see if there's anything else you want to sample? It's just really, see how it's like really, like if that had happened to Rebecca most likely would have tried those samples. And if it had been, hey, would it be fun for you if I gave you some samples? It's my free sample day. Can I give you some samples? Way less assaulting, right? Okay, so that's building trust, because when we're building customers, we need to build trust. Linda's customers trust her. They trust her. They know that she has got their back. Rhonda's customers, they know she has got their back. Okay. So we need to build that trust. So we're gathering people. Remember, we're gathering people. They're looking for you. They really are. Okay. Number 2 is branding. Okay. It's kind of a buzz thing to say, what's your brand and branding? But I'm not trying to make fun of it, but I want you to know this is really key. And I don't mean branding in that, and we're going to talk about more of this in June. I'm just hitting it up real quick. So just know this is just a snippet of what I'm going to talk about with branding. We're going to talk more in June about branding. I'm not talking about your color profile. I'm not talking about your business card. I'm not talking about your cute saying. I'm not talking about any of that when I talk branding. A lot of times when we think branding, that's what we think. We think a logo. We think, what's my favorite, my signature color, all of that. We're talking about you as you, like, what's your brand? And if you don't know what your brand is, that's okay. But your brand is you. It's who you are. It's how you're showing up everywhere you go. That's your brand. And it's how you're putting yourself out in front of your customers. And a good example could be like, what's your brand? Are you really authentic? David's brand is he treats everybody like they're a queen. The most important person in the room, in his presence. That's David's brand. So nobody's going to go to anybody else because nobody else is going to do that because that's David's brand. He's built that loyalty, right? When he serves them food and like he said, I make it fun. That's his brand. Okay, so that's how he's showing up. So what are you putting out there? Maybe you're outgoing and fun. Maybe you're a really good listener and you just love chatting. Like they're like, I can't wait to see Rhonda because Rhonda's going to ask me how my grandkids are. She's going to remember that my great grandson graduated. She's going to remember that my dog had puppies. She's going to remember these things about me because that's her brand. Her brand is she's a good listener. Okay, so that's an example. We're going to get into that, but you're going to want to know your brand because back in the day, let's be real, when we're building trust, back in the day, we could build trust face to face, knee to knee, elbow to elbow. We could build trust, right? But in today's day, I'm going to go faster because we got to get done. AI, and all the deep, crazy stuff that's out there that I don't even understand what most of it is, but nobody trusts anybody anymore. So people are going to go look for you and they're going to try to figure out who you are before they have trust in you. So like if it's a referral or it's somebody that you gave your card and they went out and looked on the web, they're going to look for you. If somebody hasn't returned 2 messages, they probably haven't had a chance to go look and make sure who you are and what your brand is. So what you're putting out there, it creates a vibe. Does that make sense to say it's a vibe? It's a vibe that you're giving people. And you do give people a vibe on social media as well. And I'm not saying, we're not going to get into all of that, but I just want you to know branding is super important because people are vibe checking you. They vibe check you all the time. There's this statistic out here that says 81% of people need to trust you before they will buy from you. 81% of the people need to trust you before they will buy from you. So next month, we're going to talk more about the vibe. So check in next, we're going to talk about that. Number 3, loyalty. Have I made the point on loyalty? So how can we get it? One of the ways we do in Mary Kay that other people do not do is we follow up, we check in, and we show interest, right? That builds loyalty by following up. But what I think is also, and I think us Mary Kay people are really good at that. I think we're good at the follow up, the 2 + 2 + 2. We know that. We know in 2 days I need to make sure they like the product, 2 weeks, 2 months. But one of the things that I think sets us apart and builds loyalty and will set you apart is not just checking up to see do they need a new mascara. How it's checking up to see how they're progressing. Like if they bought the new wrinkle limiter, the deep dynamic wrinkle limiter, there we go, dynamic wrinkle limiter. Hey, is that product, how's your skin doing with that? Are you starting to see the results you were expecting? How's your skin performing with that product? That it shows that you are concerned about the progress in her purchase and she's going to remember that you cared. Okay. So that's how you can do loyalty. Okay. All right. So we're going to launch this. Okay. We're going to launch this and more tips coming in June. All right. And I sent to Sheila and Rhonda, you're going to get this they're going to send it to you. I sent it in a picture so they can send it to you. But first thing we're going to have is a challenge. Okay. Doesn't everybody love a challenge? Okay. So we're going to either build it big, bigger, or biggest. So the challenge that we're doing between now and September 1st. Okay. This is the overall picture of it. All right. This is not just the challenge for tonight, but it's the overall picture. And we're going to talk about prizes and all of that later. I just want you to get in. I just want to see if you want to get invested in this first before we go to all of that. So to build big, BiG, build big would be to add 15 new customers. We defined a customer, right? They got to buy from you. Okay. 15 new customers by September 1st. He or she must be new to you and have made a purchase, and you enrolled them in the preferred customer program mailing that's going to be the fall holiday. That's August 17th. Okay. So 15 new. That's number 1. That's building a big customer base. Number 2 is building a bigger customer base. You're going to add 30 by September 1st, all the same parameters. And maybe you're like, no, I want the biggest one right now in this challenge. I'm going to build 60 new customers by September 1st that have made a purchase from me and enroll them in preferred customer program. So that's the overall challenge that we're going to be doing between now and September 1st. So you're going to start seeing a lot more recognition on that and a lot more focus on that. So how to start? You guys ready? If anybody's ready, here's how we're going to start. Yay. Okay. So step 1, go through your customer base. If you're new and you're like, I don't have a customer base yet, go through your friends list. You've probably already made a list. Okay. And what you're going to do if you already have customers is you're going to go through your customer base, who purchased from you And did you put them on the PCP? That's all you need to know right now. And that step one. Has she purchased? Has he purchased? And did you put them on the PCP? Okay. Number two, step number two, they were only doing 2 right now. That's it. So this is your other challenge. I want you to pick some customers and you're going to call them. I would love for you to pick 5 on that list. And if you're brand new and you don't have 5, you're just going to pick 5 people. You are going to phone call. Remember those? CALL, call. Phone call. They're going to hear your voice. This is a call. This is not a text. This is not. Now, if you don't have their phone number and you only have them on Messenger, you're going to voice note them. They need to hear your voice. Okay. But I prefer a phone call if you can. That tells you they're a customer of yours if you have their phone number, or a really good friend of yours if you have their phone number. Okay. So you're going to call them and you're going to say something like this. Okay. This is a suggestion. Now, I want you to put your vibe on it, but this is also going to be in the challenge. Okay, so don't worry, it's coming to you. So you're going to say something like this with your vibe on it. Mine would be something like, hey, this is Deanna, your Mary Kay gal, because I'm probably going to get her voicemail, right? Doesn't it? Nobody picks up their phone anymore. And if she does pick up, I'll be shocked. But it'll probably go to voicemail. And I say, hey, it's Deanna, your Mary Kay gal. It's been a while since we touched base because I'm picking 5 that I have not talked to in a while. And I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to apologize for that. I wanted to let you know I'm sorry about that. And you were on my mind, because I found her in my list. You're on my mind. And I just wanted to say how much I appreciate you as my customer. And, I just realized today I don't say that often enough. So I just wanted to say that. Okay, well, I hope you're doing great and I hope you have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye. And what did I do? That was interesting, right? And she's probably not going to check her voicemail unless I send her a text. And I'm going to text her and say, hey, I just left you a voice message. Hey, it's Deanna. I just left you a voice message. Hope you're doing great. And that's it. Now she's curious. So she's probably going to go listen to that voice message. Now, if I haven't talked to her in a while and she hasn't bought from me, and I have quite a few, I have a big list of this, guys. Confession time. I have way more than 5 that I can do this with. And so I might not even be in their phone anymore. Now, what are we doing? We're establishing trust. I'm not asking her for a reorder. I bet there's going to be some people that are going to say, message me back with a text message and say, oh, it's good to hear from you. By the way, I need mascara. By the way, I need lip gloss. By the way, I need foundation or CC cream. I've been out for a long time. And I'm like, I'll bet you have. So, but they may not. And guess what? That's okay. We're just trying to reestablish a connection and trust. And that's it. So that's going to be, so you're getting this from your director as a picture. And I went long and I'm sorry, but we aren't here next week. So your challenge is to do this by, I think I said on the list, I can't pull up my picture. I think I said the 28th, 5 of them by the 28th. That's your challenge, to reach out to 5 people. If they're brand new to you, like they've not been a customer, you've never talked to them about that. I just want you to say, hey, I realize I haven't been good about getting in contact with you and saying hello. And I was thinking about you today. So I just wanted to say hi. And I appreciate you. All right. Hope you're doing good. Talk to you later. That's it. Okay. All right. Who has questions?